This is an honest review of The Forgotten City. Let's take a look. Okay, so your video options are pretty solid. You can tweak and fiddle some things. I was getting around 70 to 120 frames per second, so that's pretty solid. And then all of your key bindings are rebindable, and they work. So there you go. So the Forgotten City, guys, what is it? It is a full game made from a mod of Skyrim. Now, we need to make a very distinct thing right off the bat, right here, is that this game is very difficult to not spoil, because every conversation that you have in this game, which you have many of, is potentially a spoiler. So the content is, I tried to capture everything I could the best to reflect the identity of this game without spoiling anything. So if you notice there's sort of like a lackluster, boring, if it's a little boring, that's why. It's also just the nature of the game, which I'll get to in a minute. However, I digress. What is the story? So you wake up next to this river, and there's this random lady here with the mouth animations from hell, and you create your character. Now, a part of the character creation, you choose your gender, your skin color, and then there's sort of like these traits that give you traits while you're in the city, whether it's like you start with an extra weapon, damage reduction, or your person just naturally runs faster. That's the trait that I picked. I thought it wasn't really helpful, however, I digress. So she stops you and she asks, hey, can you help me find my buddy? He went into this cavern. You're like, sure. So you go in there and you're looking for her friend Al. And the problem with Al is, well, you don't find him. And you notice that all these people have turned into golden statues. Well, next to one of the golden statues, there's this really ominous looking freaking portal. So obviously, guys, you walk in. Why wouldn't you? And it sends you 2,000 years back into the past. And you spawn in, and you are where you just were, however, in the past. So in its original, former glory of this hidden city, which, might I add, it's very gorgeous. Man, there's sometimes where the light just hits it right, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, this is literally like snapshot moment right here. So anyways, so you come in and you're greeted by this random guy. You forgot he's like relatively important for one of the endings. Speaking of, there's 4 endings you can get. I got 3 out of the 4. Well, technically only got 2, but I'm pretty sure one of them bugged, but we got 3 guys. And so you're walking through, and then you go and talk to the magistrate. Now, guys, what happens here is it is the most pinnacle part of this game, because the problem with this game, guys, is you just talk. You just talk. Guys, I mean, you're trying to get out of this city because no one can leave, no one can come in. And you learn through the magistrate that there's something called the Golden Rule. And what happens is that if anyone commits a sin in this city, or at least if anyone breaks their rules that's set up by these old gods, guys, all hell breaks loose. And what happens is everyone turns into gold. All these gold statues come alive, and they are trying to kill you. So then you have to follow the magistrate out, and then he gets you out of there, and then it sets through a time loop, right? So you come back, and you go through and do everything all over again. However, it saves all the information that you've collected, all the knowledge you've collected from before, and it saves all the items that you've collected from before. Now, the problem with this is that you find yourself having to re-talk to the same people over and over and over again because they don't remember who you are, right? And sometimes they have new dialogue that you need to come and talk, that you need to talk to. Now, the good thing about this is, and this is the only good thing about talking to these people, is that the voice acting, I feel like, personally, just my opinion, I feel like the voice acting is pretty solid. It was really immersive. There's different, types of people to listen to. I mean, just listen to this.
Something about your demeanor gives me the urge to caution you against doing anything, shall we say, unlawful while you're here. Is that understood?
So, it's pretty solid. I mean, it's not like the best, but it is immersive. You'll find that there's Greeks down here, there's Romans, there's... and all of these people just sort of appeared out of nowhere. They came in and they spawned into this city, guys. And what happens is actually right here, I was working on a quest trying to get this lady some medicine. Well, I told the guy that I was going to take his stuff. And so what happens is like I said, that if you commit a sin or anything like that, the freaking world just collapses, guys. And this is one of the best parts that they've done so well is the death loop, the sort of system, right? So it's not necessarily not when you die, but when you commit a sin, the whole thing collapses. So now you have to follow the magistrate. He's gonna go up to where you spawned in from the beginning. He's gonna mumble some words and he's gonna go, and he's just gonna turn into ash, and then he'll open the portal up and you'll redo everything all over again. So this is sort of how the game works. This is how the game flows. That was a really long explanation, but it's just important that you understand how this works. Now, at the end of the day, it's so boring, because I know I just made that sound like this game was just incredible. It's not, guys. It's just not. And the issue is this game is $20, originally made from a mod. And I want to quote IGN here, which, by the way, gave this game a 9 out of 10. Yeah. They say The Forgotten City is an incredible, unique, and self-aware adventure game that does a fabulous job of exploring complex ideas stemming from a basic question: what is objectively good? If you were expecting a full-blown action RPG that spans dozens of hours, this 10-hour jaunt and its fairly simple combat may only whet your appetite, but it still sports an impressive ensemble of cast of likable but flawed characters who each have something interesting to say. Let me tell you something, guys. If the level of intelligence of someone rating this game a 9 out of 10 doesn't flood through the idea that they said the action RPG that spans dozens of hours, which implies at least 24, this 10-hour jaunt, because this game is about 10 hours, I don't know what else does. This game is boring. All you do, it is, all of the good looks is just a mask to hide the immense amount of boredom that you will go through in this game. All you do, okay, is with a little bit of combat and a little bit of exploration. The exploration is so poor. All you do is talk to people for hours and hours and hours and hours. And that's it, guys. So if that's the kind of game you want, get it. Otherwise, stay away from this game, because it is not worth $20.